Hello, this is episode 2 of Tea Time. Today I have with me a special guest. Her name is Maria Noelia de la Cruz, and she is a sister of the Genesis chapter from spring 2005. Now, I chose Maria because she is a very hardworking, dedicated sister, and she's been around for a while. And I never understood how hard it was being a sister until I became one. And so I understand once you become an alumni, it's a lot harder to juggle, your family life, your career, and then on top of that, MSU obligations. So Maria has done a great job of doing that. So I wanted to dig deep as to what motivates you to be here, some goals that you have. And yeah, so thank you again for coming.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. You're so sweet. Thanks for the great words.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so what motivates you to be an active sister? What keeps you going?
Um, so what keeps me going is just like the relationships and the friendships that you build throughout like the whole entire time as a sisterhood. So like obviously you mentioned like I crossed in spring 2005 and like I still have some relationships from those in 2005 to now to the present, and just being like part of like my wedding process. A lot of my wedding party was like my sorority sisters. So it's just like building those relationship and like actually wanting to do something to give back to the community. For example, like I like throwing events, I like programming, I like doing things that are educational or just fun, and that's why I just love to do it, because it's like a kind of like a hobby for me to do when it comes to MSCO. So I don't see it as like a chore or like a responsibility. I see it more like as something that I'm going to have fun and I'm going to enjoy it while I have it for other sisters or other community members to enjoy just as much as I do.
Yeah, and I could see that translating into career field because you currently work at your alumni at Kutztown University, correct?
Yeah, I just started back in March. I say March because February 28th was only one day. But yeah, back in March, and it's just been eye-opening of like how things have changed in the new generation, but I still enjoy what I do. I am very involved with my chapter. I always have been, even when I wasn't in student affairs or working at Kutztown University. I always came back and did some of those events. But just seeing in action and getting to know the new generation is kind of like a way to like how do you say, like encourage them to continue to do better, because like I was once a freshman, first generation student, so they don't really get the same experience or programs or resources as I used to get, because there's different times and like funding can affect it. But just to bring back one of my student organizations that I was very involved in as an undergrad, and seeing it grow and continue to grow, because obviously it's just starting out from just a few members, like maybe like 5 or 6, but we were able to accomplish a lot. Like we won first place in a banner contest.
Oh,
We were
wow.
able to bring back Tenencia Ball, which had like a variety of students and community members, and also was able to bring back some of those traditions and awards that we used to do. So it's just like very like warm heart to me to see it come into action, and seeing the students who are in the planning portion of it be as excited as I am or used to be.
That's good. So it sounds like you get like a lot of nostalgia and like full circle moments.
Yes, you're good with words. I'm like, I don't know what to name these things, but yes, that's awesome.
Did you have a sister that you looked up to that inspired you to be this active?
Um, yeah, so like, I have a big sister, Diane Ernst. She's from the College of New Jersey. And she just been like a big role model throughout like my whole process of becoming a sister, and just seeing her, because she was a solo, and seeing her do the things that she did for her chapter and accomplishments, it was just been like amazing. I'm like, wow, I just want to be just like you. Like, you're very, like, she was always positive and still is to this day. She was always positive and was willing to like travel everywhere, no matter how far no matter how far we were from each other. So like, when I was a sister, she would come and travel like to our events, and that would be like an hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes, depending on traffic. And also, one of my other sisters, like, just our founders, like, they're just to see like what they accomplish in a short period of time, and seeing them grow it as an undergrad has been good. And I always just wanted to make sure to make them proud of like my chapter and our organization and what we do. But throughout the years, I always have like different sisters that I can look up to, or I feel like that are very inspirational, or what do you call it, like man, like, you're good with these words.
No, it's all good. You sound great.
Inspiring, and motivating when it comes to certain things. So it's always good to meet new sisters and be like, wow, like, just recently, like, I met Yisa, it's been like almost a year and a half, and she's an old school sister. So it's just like, wow, this is so amazing. And Belinda and like Roselle, and then getting to know them and being part of the foundation, I'm just like, wow, you guys are amazing. Like, why didn't I meet you back then? Like, and sometimes people take time away from MSU, and that's okay. But it's always good to see them come back and still willing to give back to the organization.
That's so funny, because I assumed you guys have known each other for a while, considering like you guys have so much chemistry when you talk and collaborate. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like basically like, you just click with people, and just like, I'm a very easy going person. So for me, I like to have fun and enjoy, and just certain experiences, like going out to eat, or I'm not like more of like a clubbing or, drinking person, but just like relaxing or drinking wine, like things that we actually bond over, versus like, I'm pretty sure like if they met me as an undergrad, I'll be the same way, but I'll be like, okay, let's go party, always wanted to get into those modes. But yeah, like, I think it's just like the time frame in our lives too that helps.
That's really cool. And as as time has gone on, do you feel like you have the biggest accomplishment so far that you've accomplished?
Yeah, so basically I've been active for 17 years, so I think that's a big accomplishment. Like, I never have not been inactive. And then on top of that, I always had a role within the MSU, whether it was as an undergrad, as a district member, nationals, or at Adias, which is alumni, and now foundation. I feel like I kind of fulfilled almost every position possible. My one goal was always to be president, and like, time doesn't allow it when I first went into it, but maybe like later on in the future I would be able to do that. But I think like that's my only one accomplishment I always wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be part of the presidency of, like, making good things happen within MSU. So, but overall, I have accomplished a lot. Just being active for 17 years is like a big accomplishment, and being like in positions. And this is while I was also in grad school, working 2 jobs. I always found a way to like balance my life with MSU, and it's kind of like a hobby, like, where I enjoy it. And my husband to this day is like, why are you so active? And he doesn't understand, because sometimes he's very active with his chapter, but not as a whole, as an organization, which he is now. But I always have been. And I think it's just the relationships, the memories, the kind of like the bonding. Like, there's people that got snowed in my house one time, and it was just like the bonding experience of what, happened, like, with all the sisters, like, getting snowed in, and we bonded, had hot chocolate, like had food, reminiscing, and just having like a great time, or having like board games or game activities. I think it's like basically having like a second home. Like, to me, I don't really have a big family. Like, I do have a big family, but not here in the United States. Like, most of my family is in the Dominican Republic, so I didn't really get to, growing up, get to have that sense of family. And I feel with them, like with the sisters, like it's like a family. Like, we're gonna argue, we're gonna fight, but we love each other. At the end of the day, we respect each other. So I think that's always what keeps me going.
So since MSU has been such a big part of your life, do you think it's contributed to your growth in terms of like your social life? I know you said your relationships are like a second family to you, or do you think it helped with like your career growth, or what other contributions do you think that had to your life?
Yeah, it definitely has made me grow as a person. So I used to be like, I always was talkative, but like I used to be a shy person, not really like advocate for myself, and I'm now able to advocate, and like not just with MSU, but also like within like my career, like things I would like be like, oh, I'm just gonna like brush it off. Like, no, now I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. So like it helped me communicate better with people, and then just in general, like life. And I don't know, like I also feel like I could manage my time. Like, I could travel for a certain amount of time. Like, I travel everywhere. Like, it could be 3 hours or 4 hours, and also, like, I will help other people. Like, I will carpool, or like bring people with me that need a ride, because at some point in my life, like, I always needed that. Sorry, I lost track of the question.
No, you answered the question. Like, I can see how this contributed to your life, which is great. I feel like that's what MSU is all about, like just being a part of your life. And I feel like it's definitely been a huge part of your life since you've been an active sister for so long. You've already held so many positions, and then the next step is Miss President, and I can't wait to see you do it. I'll be here for it.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I would say that I definitely learned a lot more, because, like, we weren't in the time where social media, photography, and all that stuff. So, like, sisters definitely keep you up to date of what's going on in the world. Like, now it's TikTok, and before it was Instagram and Facebook. So it definitely keeps me on my toes to like learn things, or learn different words of how people say certain slang and stuff. So it's kind of funny to hear that. I'm like, oh, why do you say it that way? So it's always good.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciated talking to you. This is great. Do you have any final words?
No, if anybody, well, I guess, yeah. But if anybody is thinking about, like, like all the stress that's going on in the world and things like that, just keep pushing. At the end of the day, look at the positive things in life within our sisterhood, within our sorority, and just make a change. I think it's hard. It's easier said than done, but just keep fighting for what you believe in and what you want to see for our organization.
I love that. Thank you so much again, Maria. You were great.